Good morning, children. So, here we are starting with a new chapter, that is depreciation. So, let us discuss what is depreciation. This already we have discussed while discussing the chapter basic terminology initially, but still just a repetitive point that depreciation is the reduction in the value of fixed tangible assets due to wear and tear, passage of time, regular usage, etc. That means it is the reduction in the value of those assets which cannot be converted into cash within a year and which can be seen and touched, either due to passage of time or regular usage or some obsolescence or some wear and tear, etc. And we know that depreciation is basically a loss and therefore it carries a debit balance. Now there are two definition of depreciation given by various people. You can do any one of them. According to R.N. Carter, depreciation is the gradual and permanent decrease in the value of an asset from any cause. And according to J.R. Bartley Boy, it is a matter of common knowledge that all fixed assets such as plant, machinery, building, furniture, etc., gradually diminish in value as they get older and become worn out by constant use in the business. So these are the two definition of depreciation. You can do either of these. Moving ahead with the characteristics or features of depreciation, the very first feature of depreciation is decline in the value of fixed asset. That means reduction in the value of fixed asset, except for land, because generally we assume that the value of land generally does not decrease; it keeps on increasing or appreciating. Number two, it is a non-cash expense. Basically, this depreciation is not incurred or not paid in cash. Rather, it is just a reduction. It is considered as a loss. Therefore, it is considered as a non-cash expense. It does not involve any cash outflow. No going out of cash. Point number three, such fall is of a permanent nature. Once the value of an asset is reduced due to depreciation, it cannot be restored to its original cost. Once the reduction, once and for all. The fourth characteristic, the term depreciation is used only and only in respect of tangible fixed assets. The term is not used for wasting assets such as mines, oil wells, etc. And number five, it decreases only the book value of the asset and not the market value, because we assume that what will be the certain amount or absolute amount which will keep on be decreasing with the passage of time during the years in the name of depreciation. It might be that currently the market value might be more or lesser than that, but depreciation only reduces the book value. It has got nothing to do with the market value. Then the causes of depreciation, the cause can be constant use, expiry of time, expiry of legal rights, obsolescence, accident, depletion, permanent fall in market price, etc. So all these are various causes of depreciation. Then, what is the need and objectives of providing depreciation? What is the importance we can say? Number one, for ascertaining the true profit or loss, because we know obviously when the fixed assets are being used, obviously the reduction will be there, and if we do not record this deduction or we do not record this depreciation, that means we are showing our asset at a wrong value. That means we will not be able to calculate the correct profit and loss. Therefore, in order to ascertain the true profit or loss, depreciation is very very much important. Number two, for showing the true and fair view of the financial position. Number three, to ascertain the accurate cost of production. Number four, to provide funds for replacement of assets. Number five, to prevent the distribution of profits out of capital. And number six, for avoiding overpayment of income tax. So all these are various needs, or we can say objectives, or we can say importance of depreciation. Then these there are various methods of providing or allocating depreciation: fixed installment method, diminishing balance method, annuity method, depreciation fund method, insurance policy method, revaluation method, depletion method, and machine hour rate method. So all these 8 methods are there for calculating and allotting depreciation on various fixed tangible assets. And if you see the first two methods I have written in red color. So these, why these 2 points have been highlighted, because for your syllabus you have to learn only these two methods, that is fixed installment method and diminishing balance method. So starting with the first two methods are discussed below, because only these two first methods are there in your syllabus. The first one's method is fixed installment method. This method is also termed as original cost method because under this method, every year till the machinery or the asset is in existence, the depreciation is charged on the original cost only. That means on the cost at which the machinery or the asset was purchased initially. So this method is also termed as original cost method. Either we can say fixed installment method or we can say original cost method, means the same. Because under this method, depreciation is charged at a fixed percentage on the original cost of the asset, as we have discussed just now. The amount of depreciation remains equal from year to year. Why? Because obviously the rate of depreciation is same, and it is every year it is charged on the original cost, and original cost will remain the same obviously. So ultimately the value of depreciation will be equal, and when there is a reduction in the value of an asset with the equal amount year by year, obviously a time will come when the value of asset will become zero. So this is the speciality, the unique point of this method. The amount of depreciation remains equal from year to year, and as such the method is also known as equal installment method or straight line method. That means there are four names: fixed installment method, equal installment method, original cost method, and straight line method. Any of these names can be used for asking the questions from you. Under this method, the amount of depreciation is calculated by deducting the scrap value. That means scrap value is basically the value which we assume that even when the asset becomes of no use, and even if we sell it as scrap, then to certain amount of residue or residual amount will be recovered, that is considered as scrap value. So under this method, the amount of depreciation is calculated by deducting the scrap value from the original cost of the asset, and then by dividing the remaining balance by the number of years of its estimated life. So what can be the formula for calculating depreciation? Original cost minus any scrap value divided by estimated life of an asset. Whenever an asset is purchased, reasonably it is assumed or it is estimated for the number of years for which it will be useful. The depreciation so calculated and charged annually will reduce the original cost of the asset to zero, as we have discussed. Why? Because every year the amount of depreciation charged is same. Every year the value of asset is decreasing with the same amount, or its scrap value, as the case may be. At the end of its estimated life, under this method, the amount of depreciation is calculated by the following formula, which we have already discussed. Year of depreciation is equal to original cost of the asset minus estimated scrap value upon estimated life of the asset. Then the accounting treatment, basically the entries. Following entries are passed in this are passed. Entry for purchase of asset, that we already know: asset account debited to bank account if it is in cash, or through check, and it will be credited to vendor if it is purchased on credit. Then entry for providing depreciation at the end of each year. Depreciation will be provided at the end of each year, remember that, children. The entry will be depreciation account debited to asset account. This also we have discussed in the journal entry chapter. Number 3, entry for the amount realized on the sale of asset. Whenever the asset is sold off, what will be the entry for selling the asset? Bank account debited to asset account. Why we are debiting the bank account? Because on selling the asset, money is coming in. And why we are crediting the asset account? Because asset is going out. Then fourth point, entry in case of loss on sale of asset. Any loss, we know losses carry a debit balance, so any loss will be debited to profit and loss account, or statement of profit and loss if statement of profit and loss will be used if it is a company. Debited to asset account. Why we are crediting asset account? Because obviously asset is being going out. Number 5, entry in case of profit on sale of an asset. That means whenever any asset is sold at a profit, and we know profit carries a credit balance, so in that case asset account will be debited to profit and loss account or statement of profit and loss. And you can see an asterisk against statement of profit and loss, to which the note is given in at below. In case of companies, a statement of profit and loss is prepared in place of profit and loss account. Then merits or advantages of fixed installment method. What are the advantages of this fixed installment method, or original cost method, or straight line method, or equal installment method? Simplicity, it is simple to calculate because the same amount of depreciation is calculated on the same original cost every year. Then equality of depreciation burden, every year the amount will be same, that it will be equal burden. Number 3, assets can be completely written off because a time will come that when the value of asset will become zero. And number 4, knowledge of original cost and up to date depreciation. So these are the merits or the advantages of fixed installment method. The demerits or the disadvantages of fixed installment method: number 1, difficulty in computation. It is difficult to calculate. Number 2, unequal charge against income. Maybe some year we are getting more income, maybe some year we are getting less income, but again we are charging the same amount of depreciation every year. So that is quite unequal. Number 3, undue pressure in later years. And number 4, unrealistic to write off the value of asset to zero. We know that in our books the asset value will come to zero, but we know the reality that the value of asset can never be zero. At least it will realize some amount, some paise, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, any value, but it cannot be given for free. So these are the disadvantages of fixed installment method. Moving ahead with the another method, that is diminishing balance method. In this method, what happens, depreciation is not calculated on the original cost, rather every year the depreciation is calculated on the book value, or we can say on the written down value. That means on the value calculated after deducting the depreciation up to date. So as you can see here, under this method, as the value of asset goes on diminishing year after year, the amount of depreciation charged every year also goes on declining. Why? Because the written down value, the value after deducting the up to date depreciation, keeps on reducing. And the depreciation is calculated on that diminished value for the later years. So therefore, obviously, when the value of asset decreases, the amount on which depreciation is calculated also decreases. Therefore the amount of depreciation will also decrease. For example, if a machine is purchased for rupees 10,000 and depreciation is to be charged at 10% per annum according to diminishing balance method, then the depreciation will be charged as under. First year, the 10% depreciation will be charged on 10,000, that is 1,000. Then the second year, now the value of asset will become 9,000. Why? 10,000 was the cost minus 1,000 depreciation of previous year. That means now currently the value of asset is 9,000. So 10% depreciation will now be calculated on 9,000, that is 900. So as you can see, as the value of asset is decreasing, the amount of asset or we can say amount of depreciation is also decreasing. Then in the third year, now the current value of asset is 8,100. Why? The previous year up to date value, that is 9,000, minus the depreciation till the last year, that is 900. So 8,100. Now the depreciation will be calculated at the rate of 10% on 8,100, that is 810. So after deducting 810 from 8,100, now the current book value of asset is 7,290. That means now the 10% of depreciation will be calculated on 7,290, that is 729, and so on. It will continue for the 5th year, 6th year. It will be observed from the above calculations that each year's depreciation is calculated on the book value of asset at the beginning of that year, rather than on the original cost. Book value is the written down value of the asset. In other words, it is that part of the original cost of the asset which has not been depreciated so far. That means basically in the diminishing balance method or in the written down value method, we are calculating the depreciation on the balance left after deducting the depreciation till date. And here we can say that book value will be original cost minus total depreciation till date. As the value of asset and also the depreciation charged on it goes on reducing year after year, the method is also known as reducing installment method or written down value method. That means diminishing balance method is also known as written down value method or reducing installment method. Now, merits of diminishing balance method is it is easy to calculate because it is more realistic approach. No undue pressure in the later years because since the asset value goes on decreasing, so is the depreciation value also decreasing. Number 3, balance of asset is never written off to zero. And number 4, and again it is a very unique point that in case of diminishing balance method, the value of asset never becomes zero, but in case of single, or we can say straight line method, the value of asset becomes zero. Then number 4, approved method by income tax authorities. Income tax authorities approve the written down value method, and they do not approve the original cost method. The disadvantages or the demerits of diminishing balance method: number 1, assets cannot be completely written off. The value will not become zero, it will consider some of the value. Then omission of interest factor, we are not including the interest. Number 3, difficulty in determining the rate of depreciation. It is very difficult to determine the rate of depreciation with utmost accuracy. And number 4, knowledge of original cost and up to date depreciation is not possible, because we are calculating the depreciation on the written down value. Now, these are the differences between the two methods. It is a very important question which is asked in your papers, children. The difference between fixed installment method or original cost method and diminishing balance method. The first point of difference is amount of depreciation. In case of original cost method, equal depreciation is charged every year, whereas in case of diminishing balance method, the depreciation goes on decreasing year after year. Then basis of difference, the second point is basis of calculation of depreciation. Under original cost method, depreciation is charged on the original cost of the asset, whereas in case of diminishing balance method, depreciation is charged on the reducing balance of the asset. This we have discussed earlier. Then another point of difference is zero level. Under original cost method, the book value of the asset can be reduced to zero, whereas under diminishing balance method, the book value of the asset can never be reduced to zero. So these are the differences which you need to remember. Then another point in this is, children, methods of recording depreciation. How do we record depreciation? So as you can see, there are two methods of recording depreciation in the books. Number 1, first method, by charging to asset account. In this case, provision for depreciation account is not maintained, and the depreciation is directly credited to the asset account. Hence the asset account appears in the ledger as at a written down value. That means here we do not prepare the provision of depreciation account, we just prepare one account, that is asset account, and in that asset account we record all the depreciation. Then the second method is by creating provision for depreciation account. In such a case, the depreciation is credited to provision for depreciation account instead of asset account, and hence the asset account always appears in the ledger at its original cost. The balance on the credit side of provision for depreciation account shows the total amount of depreciation accumulated to date. However, when the asset is sold or discarded, the total accumulated depreciation for the asset is transferred to the credit side of the asset account with the following entry, that is provision for depreciation account or accumulated depreciation account debited to asset account. That means if we are following the first method, we only prepare only one account, that is asset account. We show the amount of depreciation in the same account, that is the asset account. And the second method is by preparing the provision for depreciation account. If we are preparing provision for depreciation account separately, that means we are not recording the amount of depreciation in the asset account. Rather, whatever is the amount of depreciation is recorded separately in the provision for depreciation account, and the balance of provision for depreciation account shows the accumulated amount of depreciation till date. And whenever any asset is disposed of or sold off, the amount on such asset till the date of sale or disposal is transferred from accumulated depreciation account, or we can say provision for depreciation account, to the asset account by passing the entry provision for depreciation account debited or accumulated depreciation account debited, because provision carries a credit balance, and when we are transferring it or we are closing it, it will be debited to asset account because asset is going out because we are selling it. After making the above entry, the balance in the provision for depreciation account will indicate the accumulated depreciation on the assets in service or unsold asset. And whenever the amount of such asset which are being disposed of or sold off is transferred from the provision for depreciation account or accumulated depreciation account to the asset account, the remaining amount which is left in the provision for depreciation account is basically showing the amount of depreciation still left on the amount of assets existing in the business. So these are the concepts related to depreciation which we have discussed till now, children. Now we are moving ahead. We will do few questions based on this. The first question is based on original cost method. On 1st April 2007, a limited company purchased a machine for rupees 1,90,000 and spent 10,000 on its installation. That means now the cost of machinery will be considered as total of 2 lakh. At the date of purchase, it was estimated that the scrap value of the machine would be 50,000 at the end of 6th year. That means the scrap value is 50,000 and estimated life is 6 years. Give machine account and depreciation account in the books of company for 4 years after providing depreciation by fixed installment method. The books are closed on 31st March every year. So as you can see the solution, as the rate of depreciation is not given in the question, the amount of annual depreciation will be arrived at as under: annual depreciation is equal to cost of asset minus scrap value upon estimated life of asset, that we have already discussed. So what is the cost of asset? 2 lakh, that is 1,90,000 plus installation charges of 10,000 minus scrap value, that is 50,000 upon 6, that is estimated life of asset. That means 25 is the annual depreciation, and this is the absolute amount. If you have to calculate the percentage, the rate of depreciation, then you will apply the formula: amount of depreciation, that is 25,000 upon total cost of asset, that is 2 lakh, into 100, that is 12.5%. Now you have to prepare the machinery account and depreciation account for 4 years starting from 1st April 2007, and every year your accounting year is ending on 31st March. And remember children, depreciation is calculated either at the end of the year or at the time of sale of an asset. So this is the machinery account. As you can see, on the debit side, the first date which is written is 1st April 2007. And remember children, asset account will follow the rule: anything which is increasing the asset value will be shown on the debit side, anything which is decreasing the asset value will be shown on the credit side. So any purchase of asset will be shown on the debit side. We have shown two bank account 1,90,000 for the purchase value and two bank account 10,000 for installation charge. If you wish, you can show it all together. It is feasible to show it together. Two bank account 2 lakh, right? There is no other transaction. So now simply we will come to the end of the period. We will calculate depreciation, and we know that because of depreciation the value of asset decreases, therefore depreciation will be shown on the credit side. We will write, and if the year is starting on 1st April 2007, that means it is ending on 31st March 2008. So on the credit side we will write 31st March 2008 by depreciation account 25,000. Either you can write it as the amount we have already calculated, or you can calculate it as a percentage, 12.5% on original cost, that is 2 lakh. Then now you have to balance just the way you were balancing in ledger. You will total the debit side which is coming to 2 lakh. You will total the credit side which is coming to 25,000. That means the balancing figure will be shown on the credit side: 2 lakh minus 25,000, that is 1,75,000. So balancing is also done at the end of the period. So on March 31st you will write by balance carried down 1,75,000. So the total will be 2 lakh. Whatever is carried down will be shown as brought down on the opposite side. So next year, that is 1st April 2008, we will show two balance brought down. The amount which is shown in carried down, that is 1,75,000. Again this year also there is no other transactions, so we will simply calculate the depreciation now. And since we are following the original cost method, that means depreciation will be calculated at the rate 12.5% on original cost, that is 2 lakh. We have nothing to do with 1,75,000. Had it been the case, if it was written down value method, then we would have calculated the depreciation on 1,75,000. But since it is original cost method, so we will calculate 12.5% depreciation on 2 lakh rupees. So on credit side, again why we are showing depreciation on the credit side? Because it is reducing the asset value. And if our next year or second year is starting from 1st April 2008, that means it will be ending on 31st March 2009. So we will write by depreciation account 12.5% on 2 lakh, that is 25,000. And then we will calculate the balancing figure just as we calculated, that is debit side total minus credit side total, 1,75,000 minus 25,000. That means by 31st March we will show by balance carried down 1,50,000. Whatever is carried down in this year will be brought forwarded on the opposite side the next year, that is 1st April 2009. Two balance brought down, whatever we have shown in the balance carried down amount, that is 1,50,000. Again there is no other transaction, so we will simply calculate the depreciation which will be shown on the credit side. and if the year is starting on 1st April 2019, it will 2009, it will be ending on 31st March 2010. So we will show by depreciation again to 12.5% on 2 lakh, that is 25,000, and then we will calculate the balancing figure. Debit side total 1,50,000 minus credit side total 25,000, that is 1,25,000. So whatever we are showing in carried down will be brought forwarded on the opposite side. We will write on 1st April 2010 to balance brought down 1,25,000, and again there is no such any other transactions. So on the credit side we'll show the amount of depreciation at the end of the year, that is 31st March 2011, by depreciation 12.5% on 2 lakh, that is 25,000, and then we will show the closing balance, that is debit side total 1,25,000 minus credit side total, that is 25,000. That means the balancing figure will be 1 lakh, and whatever we are showing in the carry down will be brought forwarded on the opposite side. 1st April 2011, that is the beginning of the next period, to balance brought down 1 lakh. And the question asks you to prepare the machinery account, the asset account for 4 years, so this we have already prepared. The question also asked you to prepare the depreciation account, so this is the depreciation account. In depreciation account, whatever the depreciation is charged will be shown on the debit side. So as you can see, for the first year the depreciation charged on the machinery is shown on the debit side to machinery account 25,000, and we know the rule that any nominal account which needs to be closed is closed by transferring it to profit and loss account or statement of PL. If it is a company, then it will be transferred to statement of PL, and since the question already told that it is a limited company, that means we will write statement of profit and loss, we will not write profit and loss account. So debit side, first year the depreciation is to machine account 25,000. We will close it 31st March 2008, the same day at the end of the year, by statement of profit and loss 25,000, and similarly we will do for the rest of the years also, 2009, 2010, 2011, and so on. So this is how you will prepare the depreciation account. Remember children, depreciation is a nominal account and therefore it will be closed by transferring its balance to either profit and loss account if it is not a company, and to statement of profit and loss if it is a company. Moving ahead children, next question, that is based on diminishing balance method, question number 11. A plant is purchased for rupees 60,000 on 1st April 2009. It is estimated that the residual value of this plant at the end of its working life 10 years will be 20,920. That means original cost is 60,000, scrap value is 20,920, and estimated life is 10 years. Depreciation is to be provided at 10% per annum on diminishing balance method, and when the rate of depreciation is already given, then you need not consider the estimated life for the scrap value, and the method to be applied here is diminishing balance method. You are required to show the show the plant account for 4 years, assuming that the books are closed on 31st March every year. So let us see how do we prepare the plant account. Again, plant is also an asset, so we know the rule will be the same. Anything which increases the value of plant or asset will be shown on the debit side, and anything which reduces the value of plant or asset will be shown on the credit side. So as you can see, on 1st April 2009 plant was purchased, that means plant value has increased. So on the debit side we have shown to bank account 60,000. There is no other transaction in this year, so at the end of the current year, that is 31st March 2010, we will show the amount of depreciation, that is at the rate of 10% on 60,000, by depreciation 6,000, and now we will balance it. Debit total of debit side 60,000 minus total of credit side 6,000, that is balancing figure will be 54,000. So balance carried down of this year will be brought forwarded the next year on the opposite side, that is 1st April 2010, to balance brought down 54,000. There is no other transaction in this year also, so again simply we will calculate the depreciation. On the credit side we will write 31st March 2011 when the second year is ending, by depreciation account. Now 10% depreciation will not be calculated on original cost because it is a diminishing value method. Therefore we will calculate the amount of depreciation at the rate 10% on the diminished value, the written down value, that is 54,000. So now the depreciation will be 5400, that is 10% on 54,000. And now we will balance the total of debit side, that is 54,000, minus the total of credit side 5400, that means your balancing figure will be 48,600. So this closing balance of this year will be brought forwarded on the opposite side in the next year, that is 1st April 2011, to balance brought down 48,600. This year also there is no other transaction, so we will simply calculate the depreciation On the credit side, at the end of this year, that is 31st March 2012, by depreciation account. Again, now 10% depreciation again will be calculated with the on the current written down value, that is 48,600. That means the amount of depreciation will be 4,860. Now you will calculate the balancing figure. Total of debit side, that is 48,600, minus total of credit side, that is 4,860. That means your balancing figure will be 43,740. This closing balance of 43,740 will be brought forwarded the next year, that is on 1st April 2012. Two balance brought down 43,740. Again, there is no other transaction in this year, so we will simply calculate the amount of depreciation at the end of the current year, that is 31st March 2013. On the credit side, by depreciation account, 10% on again the current written down value, that is 43,740. So 10% of 43,740 will be 4,374, and then we will calculate the closing balance, that is the total of debit side 43,740 minus total of credit side, that is 4,374. That means closing balance will be shown as 39,366, and we will show the total. Now this closing balance will be brought forwarded at the beginning of the next accounting year, that is two balance brought down 39,366, children. So this is how you will prepare the plant account for 4 years. Note, residual value is ignored when depreciation is calculated under diminishing balance method, because the amount of depreciation will keep on changing. So these are the two questions which we have discussed, children. I hope the questions and the points which are discussed in this video is clear to children. Just go through the video once again, revise all the topics, and in the upcoming video we'll be proceeding further with further two questions. Thank you, children. Take care.